And I heard you put artifacts of him on doors to protect his kind of. Hangzhou only has the tech dragon.
Tech dragon is dragon! Come on. Hey guys, welcome back to Hangzhou Newscast. This is Fanchi on the mic. So today I am really excited because finally I can talk about something I'm really interested in. So today our topic is the new cultural trial, which is online literature, online games, and online TV dramas. And today I am so lucky to have two friends here, which is Eamon from Morocco. Welcome, Eamon.
Hello everyone. I've been a couple of years in China right now, and I've got imbued into the culture and especially video games like all of my mates. And I'm excited to talk about it today.
Yep, and we also have a new friend here, which is...
Hi, I'm Jack. I'm from the United Kingdom. I'm a fantasy author, most known for writing My Vampire System, and I've been living in China for a total of 5 years now, and live in Hangzhou.
Wow.
Whoa, that's nice. And you know what, like I just mentioned before, I'm really excited about today's topic because finally I'm interested in this, and I've been staying up really late for the the online things, especially online TV dramas, because I've been watching like the 8th time of one episode.
One episode? What?
Yeah.
Repeating them?
Now you can guess because we will talk about that later. Yes. So when we came to the topic, I have to say, like, this is the second time I meet Jack actually, because I still remember last time I met you was on an activity about the online literature, right? And I was doing interview with you, right? Yes, because you mentioned that you started your writing career because of Chinese online literature, which is Soulland. So why?
Actually, like, I've always liked those type of like stories, like comic. I've always been into the, I guess we call it like nerdy stuff. So like, comics, games, things like that. Now, nerdy is a weird word because I think everyone now plays games and watches shows and things like that. But I started with the comic version of the, I think you call it manhwa or manhwa of Soulland. So that's how I started. And I didn't even know it was Chinese when I read it. I just enjoyed the work so much, And then I found out, there's a novel of it. Let's go read the novel. And then that kind of made me into the whole world of, there's novels, there's something called like online literature, online web novels, and that's when I started to write my own works.
I see. That's why your pen name is JKS Manga, right?
Yeah.
Manga is like, if my memory is correct, I think a manga is Japanese pronunciation about comics.
Yes.
It's
I
Japanese
see.
Comics.
Yeah. I
Comics.
really hate that name because so I started trying to do the comics, but it didn't work out. And then I started writing novels to kind of make money to pay for the comics. But my novels then became so big, and now my name is JKS Manga, even though I make novels, so it doesn't make sense. So even my friends are confused because they were like, I thought you did comics, and I was like, no, I write books.
But that's impressive. I mean, because the two elements, they don't have any relationship, but you just combine together, so that's impressive for me. And not offense, but I did some research about your work and your name on the Red Book. I know what's interesting because I found your work, the book My Vampire System on Red Book. Yes, and that's quite interesting for me because like your character Queen, right? I think he also has the same same thing happens on him, like what's happening to the character in the Soulland, Tang San.
I definitely take like a lot of elements, especially because the first time in Soulland was when I read like stories where they fight the like really old beast and then they get the crystal and then they get stronger from it. So I did definitely take that but then mixed it with like Western. So it's like, how does a vampire get stronger? Through blood. So why don't we do something like every time he takes people's blood, he gets stronger and things like that. So yeah.
So how can you get the idea like to combine the Western idea and the Eastern idea?
Well, it's just the whole Chinese novels is a whole like quite fun, I would say, like compared to if you see a lot of Western works, a lot of them are quite sad or mystery or try to be too serious. And I feel like the Chinese ones, that the web novels I was reading, were more fun. So I wanted to write that style, but what was there not in the international market? And at the time, they were vampire stories, but it's all romance. So I was like, oh, what if I do like a fantasy action, similar style with this huge world like the Chinese books, but add it with, a Western concept.
Mm-hmm. So you know what? When I was viewing your homepage, I saw that you mentioned 2 Chinese online book, which is one is called Cultivation Chat Group 修真聊天室, and another one is Super Gene Top Level. Have you heard of that, Amy?
It sounds exciting.
Go read it later, okay? Okay, so I'm curious, like because why are you interested in such ancient Chinese thing? Because when we talk about cultivation thing, it's about ancient Chinese.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, it's so interesting to me because I didn't know it was Chinese. So when you're reading it, I didn't even know, and then I learned later, which then made me more interested into the culture. Cultivation Chat Group is so interesting because that story, it starts off about like WeChat. And we don't have WeChat we do, but not many people use it. But I found it so interesting because it has a lot of stuff like sharing the red envelopes and all this thing, and then mixing it with fantasy. So then that got me interested in all that. And I love with the comics, I love the architecture. In fact, like sometimes I'm a bit sad because if you come to China now, a lot of it is very modern, tall buildings, tall, skyscrapers, really impressive. But when I first thought I would come to China, I thought there'd be like dragon sculptures everywhere, or like
you can go to Nanjing for that. You can go to places for that.
I know, like I really.
Hangzhou is the wrong place for finding dragons.
Well, I was gonna say like I really liked Xi'an, I think it is, where it has all the old street and it has Wukong there and stuff like that. But Hangzhou has its own places as well. Like
Hangzhou only has the tech dragons.
Tech dragon is a dragon. Come on.
Yeah, they should do a drone show with the dragons
exactly.
over Westlake. That would be really
Only
nice.
those type of dragons. Yeah.
Yes, but actually in Hangzhou we have a lot of ancient things, especially when you walk around deep into the West Lake, around the West Lake, in the mountain, the temples, and the teas.
I love I think Westlake have that romantic story, right, about 2 people meeting together, and I love it because because me and my wife met in Hangzhou, so that's what. So I think it's quite romantic.
Yes. And in the city we have a lot of romantic things to talk about. Yes, but now I have to talk about your work because when I was reading, actually I will a little bit of your my vampire system, and I was quite impressed because some readers, they said reading a books is like seeing Harry Potter meeting Wukong. Two classic characters from your country and from my country. That's like a boom.
We need something like that in the world.
Yes.
There's a rift between, and we need people to bring them together. And I'm sure there's people interested in reading about that.
Yeah.
Especially now because the internet is international, right? So before in the past, it'd be like, oh, you go to your bookshop, you have all the works from your local community.
Yes.
But now with online being international, there's a chance to share different or combine things together.
Yes, we embrace different culture. So speaking of cultural thing and Wukong, I think I have an expert here. Amen, right? Yes, because I remember that last time when you were sitting here, we were talking about the blackness Wukong. Yeah. But still, Wukong thing. So
of course.
So last year, in Hangzhou, it has a really big game coming up because the game Blackness Wukong. Yeah. Yes, and it's a 3A game. You will, when I was viewing on the internet, I saw that even Musk, the CEO, he posted a photo that with AI he transformed himself as the character 天命人. The chosen one.
The chosen one, yeah.
Yes, that's quite funny. So I was wondering that because last time we talked about that when you played the game, you were interested about it. So why?
Yeah, so Black Myth Wukong is basically kind of the first game that brought that Chinese AAA games into the worldwide view, the international scene, and people from all over the world recognized it and tried to get a glimpse of that Chinese culture. and it also was the first kind of Chinese game I played. It doesn't matter if it was Chinese, but it was kind of the first of its kind. And while playing it, being in China, it kind of it immerses you in that kind of mystical and vast world of Chinese mythology. And it isn't until you get a sense of an exaggerated version of things, like exaggerated version of Chinese culture, that you maybe like start to understand your reality, or like the kind of essence of like the Chinese culture. And like, isn't that right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think there have been big Chinese games before, like example, Genshin Impact is like huge Chinese game all over the world. But Wukong is the first like about Chinese, like a Chinese mythical story. And I think I also love that they in the game itself they took a lot of real scenes in China. Like they actually like 3D scanned it all, put it into the game, and I think that's really cool. I remember when the first trailer came out as well, everyone thought like, oh, this is fake, this isn't going to come out, like it's a fake trailer.
They made it happen.
Yeah,
they made it happen. We're excited about the new one that's going to come out,
Zhonghui.
It's like the myth about a Chinese ghostbuster or ghost chaser.
Yes, in China, we always like we treat Zhonghui as a god who catch ghosts. Who killed evil things.
And I heard like you put artifacts of him on doors to protect kind of from evil spirits or something like that. And it should be interesting to play a game about that. I imagine.
Yes, because Zhonghui is really very important in Chinese people's idea.
It's from Taoism, like it's a Taoist god. I imagine.
Maybe he is, because I think you know better than me, because you did.
I don't.
You did a lot of research about the Chinese culture, the background culture after you played the game, right?
Yeah, I've been curious. Doing some research here and there, like, why is this guy called not Void? Is this other guy called Void, like Poo Bai? And it's so curious, and you keep going down the rabbit hole, and it's all very interesting.
So after all these, so have you watched the original the Journey to the West? Because we all know that the Black Myth Wukong, especially the character Wukong, is based on the Ming Dynasty novel, which is the Journey to the West. Like, it has like about 430 years history. So have you watched that?
Yeah. Black Myth Wukong is basically the an alternate continuation of that story, where in the original Journey to the West, where they finish and they get back the relics from the Buddhist relics from the India or the West. They just come back and they are rewarded by a place in the royal palace, or the heaven palace. But in Black Myth Wukong, they say no, Wukong is not happy with that, and he just goes back and values his freedom and defies like the imperial like people.
Yep.
And this is what the game is about, really. So, and it's good. It's a good background, and while playing, you get a better sense of what's going on. Yeah.
So as I think we three are basically the same age.
Are we?
Are we?
I don't know.
We're young, whatever. We're young, okay?
Gen Z.
Okay. No, I'm millennial.
Yeah. You have that Gen Z spirit.
Whatever. I want to say, Jack, have you watched The Journey to the West?
I have, but it's so I've read a lot of Journey to, like, because I'm really interested when it's in so much comics, it's in so much games, like League of Legends, you can play as Wukong, been in for so long. A lot of stories that even from like Japan, like Dragon Ball, Goku is based off Wukong.
Yes.
And there's so much like that people don't realize is based off the Wukong story and that path. So I get really into like trying to research and finding out everything. In fact, even in Vampire System, Wukong comes into the story.
He's everywhere.
Yeah, because the good thing is, because Wukong is such an old story now, it's not copyright, so anyone can use it for their stories. So if you write a story, you won't get in trouble for putting Wukong
the dynasty
into
wall.
And that's interesting.
Strike you.
Yes, because I still remember I read a book which is The American Gods. I even saw Wukong's brother in that book.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's the I read a book about like a few years ago, and that was the first time I realized that cultures is everywhere. Yes, yes. So when we talk about the Wukong, I as a Chinese kid, as a kid who grew up in China, I have to say, Journey to the West is really classic.
A classic.
Yes.
Is there not a lot of versions though?
Yeah, a
I
lot
feel
of
like-
versions.
yeah.
And it has transformed into, many art forms. Like, especially I remember because I always stay up late for online books. So these days I've been reading Journey to the West, but Cthulhu version. Have you heard
Cthulhu.
of? Yes. Because that's really attracted to me. Yes, the dark version. Because in that version it is like the good character, they just suddenly transform to bad character.
Yeah, because in classic Chinese literature, just like he said with the vampires, it's always a good ending. Everyone's happy at the end. But when you take it out like other makers,
Yes.
They get that bad ending, just like with some really. Yeah, and Cthulhu is like one of them.
Yes.
I imagine.
Yes. So situation like that in Chinese we say 旧瓶装新酒. 旧瓶, 旧 it means old, 瓶 it means bottle, and 装 it means filled. So 新酒 it means new wine. It means that we fill
Old bottle
new,
with new
yes.
with new wine.
Yeah. So I also wonder. So in China we have Journey to the West and we transform it. So how about the same thing happened in your guys' country?
Like stories. We always have in our kind of cinema a lot of mythologies and everything, and it's fun. It's always fun to see new interpretations in modern cinema, because we mostly have some ghost stories or some like ghost stories or people, just like stories that parents tell their children, and it's always fun to see how these classic gets interpreted into the official cinema. And when we get some fun watches.
Can you tell one now?
We get this one about a woman whose husband was killed during the war, but she's been salty. so she's been luring soldiers from the other like from the other faction, luring them in the nights and then
Kill them.
Yeah, and and this is basically the story, and they made a real movie about it.
Oh.
Yeah.
and they transform different in different different versions.
Yeah, and every kind of culture or village have an interpretation of it, and then the official movie studios, how they interpret it, and what character, how they chose to, because she's a ghost, or is she a woman, or she's a ghost or a monster, and everybody got kind of their own interpretation of it.
Yes.
And it's fun to see.
Yes. So when it comes to in the UK, the only thing I remember is about Harry Potter. Yes, because I saw a lot of different versions about Harry Potter. In China, we call it 同人文. 同人, it means that the same story background, but the readers, they give another ending to the characters.
Like a fan fiction
Fanfics.
type thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because like if we look at like more old stories or history, a lot of English, they actually prefer other cultures. Like we have a lot of Greek stories, like about Hercules or Zeus and stuff, or Nordic, which is like Thor and things like that in Marvel. But if you're talking about English, like Harry Potter, it's still quite new story, right?
Yeah,
it's based in like 2000 around year,
yes.
so it's still quite a new story.
Actually, Harry Potter is older than me.
Yeah, exactly. So like for but it's not got that, not Wukong, like
Mythology.
long time mythology. It doesn't have that feeling for it. But like I read like they're trying to make a remake of it and things like that. But we don't have a lot of. I'm trying to think of like old things that come into new, like kind of new style, because we do have big shows like Downton Abbey and things like that, but that shows more like what was life in England a long time
medieval,
ago. Yeah,
medieval times.
yeah,
and
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So I also like, how to summarize the meaning of such such action. Like we transform it.
I mean, literature and people just wanna, I guess, just wanna have fun. Like, and always interpreting things in new shadows always has that novelty to it, and kind of transforming it into our modern times, and each generation kind of gives their own interpretation where people can relate to it, but also have that basis of the ancient story, I guess.
You know, I wish, I was just thinking about Harry Potter, I wish like I could one day make such a big story that it affects the country. So example, like Wukong is such a big story, it affects the whole country, everyone knows about it. And Harry Potter is so big that if you go to like the London train station, they make like special announcements, they make like, you know, because it's become such a big story that the whole country embraces the story.
I mean, that could be the aspiration for every author.
Well, yeah, there's theme park rides and everything, you know, so yeah.
Yes, so people really hit the wall in the station.
Yeah, probably trying to go through.
Yes. So, you know, the same thing happens in many fields. You know, even in dramas. Yes, because you know, now we are talking about the new cultural trial. So we talked about literature and games, and one is, and there's another one we cannot miss it, which is TV dramas. So I wonder what kind of TV drama, especially the online ones, do you guys watch?
Well, I'll mostly watch the American ones, and the Chinese ones. Maybe if I miss that Chinese culture when I go abroad again, I may start watching, because it's also those classics. You know how I see how I see those snippets. And I just can't understand. I can't get with it.
You know what can I see? You're a game guy. I mean, you only love games.
Yeah, I like to control my character, not just watch.
So control your character. I think that's an important point, because we were going to talk about it later. So how about you?
I watch quite a lot of stuff. Because for me, and play games and everything, all the media is in one. Like even my novels is more like a game, like leveling up and everything in the novel. But like the thing is I like about Chinese stories, which is why I think, and I actually see them growing more popular in the West as well, is the way they do them these days is like a restart. So it will be like, oh, someone from the future goes back into the past, and then how will they deal with the life now that they're in the past? Or maybe they get a load of money and then they have to deal with, how do they, you know, with their this new start, this new life, what do they do? And that's what I was saying about the type of dramas I watch is more enjoyment for like that thing. It's like, I imagine if I was the main character, what would I do? You know, so it's kind of like, and I think urban, so like modern day fantasy is becoming more popular because it's more close to our real life. So it's like, you know, like the girl ones are always like, if they meet a CEO husband, or you know, like, so I think like it's easier to imagine, because if you do it in our time, you think, maybe this can happen, you know, rather
you know, people just like a common sense. Yes, you know, and also I found a common rules, because like when I was like viewing Instagram or YouTube, I found that now people are crazy about some, you know, Chinese online dramas. I wonder, have you ever heard of the 藏海传 and 陈情令?
English name, please.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so about 藏海传, it's the legend about Shanghai. It's basically it's not a real character. It's just you know they make it up.
They make it up.
Yeah. So the another one is the Untamed.
The Untamed. Well, what's in these TV shows? What are they talking about?
Okay, because I prepared 2 videos. It's about the two the dramas. So the first, let's talk about 陈情令, because the first time it came out, I was only 15 or 16, and I realized that's really popular because you know, the story it's also about a guy who used to be nobody, and then he has a lot of, you know, hatred, and then he revenge, and then climbed to the top, and then he was really, and then he got everything, like success, like money, like you know, just everything.
And what's the setting of this? I imagine it's ancient.
Ancient, but not real history.
Yeah.
So the first thing is ancient, and then the second thing is revenge. So this is about Chen Qingling, the Untamed.
Yeah.
Yes, and I have to say, many girls watch it only because the character is so cute. Yes, but not me.
No,
Yeah. Okay, so the same thing happens in another famous drama, which is I just mentioned, like the Zhanghai, which is this one. The same thing, you know. This is more, you know, more, how to say, classic, because this is the original one. Like the character Zhanghai, he has an old name, which is Zhinu. Yeah, he born in a really happy family, a loving parents, and you know, just a big house and many servants. And then one day, somebody killed his family. Oh. But he survived. And then he just, you know, just like your story when we watched the 斗罗大陆, like Tang San, he went to somebody and you know, about the master thing and Shifu, and then he got a lot of skills, and then he go revenge, and then he also grow up. So there is two common points in stories like this in nowadays famous Chinese online dramas, which is first of all, ancient thing, second of all, revenge, and maybe I can call it like small people climbing up, small people have big dreams. Okay, so when we come to the Empress of Zhenhuan, I also wonder, as a, you know, as a alien who come from the UK, how do you understand it?
I didn't. It was so crazy to me. Like, it was so crazy to me. I thought, when I first saw the story, it was like, oh, what? So he has like so many wives, and then they live in different parts of the palace and all that, which is quite interesting, because I came to China in 2008 for the Olympics, and I went to Forbidden Palace. So like that actually imagination stuff was quite exciting for me. But yeah, the story, I actually didn't want to watch it. My wife forced me to watch it. But I found myself just getting into it, you know, like it was like first 4 episodes, no, and then it would be like, oh, are we watching, you know, are we going to watch it today? So really interesting. I think what we were talking about before as well, with the emotion like revenge and going up, that's with the Chinese stories as well. I think they have such strong emotions, it feels like, so you get that satisfying feeling. So when you see them, like this character get bullied or beat up, and then when they get their revenge, it's like you're kind of cheering for the, you know, the hit person. So then you get that satisfying feeling like, oh, he finally did it. So I think Chinese stories have really good at making you strong emotions. Yeah,
especially when I was watching, I also, you know, go with the character, especially when I saw, you know, Zhenhan has two love story. So one love story is about she with the emperor, and one is she with the, how to say, we say Qin Wang. So which do you prefer? I mean, the love with another guy.
So I understand, because if you watch the story, the other person is a nicer person, but I feel like we started the story with the emperor, and I like it when you start with someone, you can go anywhere, but then you end up going back to that person, right? So we followed the story so long with these two characters, and then for the ending for her to more like this other person, I didn't I didn't support it as much, but I understood. But from a writer, because from when I'm writing, usually the first person you introduce is the person they'll end up with, because readers will get really attached to those two people, and that was the same feeling for me. I was attached to these two, so yeah.
So I also wonder, what is the most attracting element for you? Because when we are watching, like I mentioned before, that a few elements that attract foreign people, like action and revenge thing, and also the ritual thing, like their costumes, like their decorations?
I think there's a mix, because I think you have two audiences. You'll have the ones that are really into the culture and something different. Like, it's different. We don't have palaces that look like that. We don't have dresses that look like that. And the people who love that, who are watching that for the first time, will be really interested in that. But then that causes kind of a problem, because some people only like to watch what they're used to. So they'll think like, oh, it's hard to get into those type of stories. So that's why I always think there's certain stories that need to bridge the gap. So like, keep the themes, keep the palace, but then maybe do the same thing, but do it in a castle, like, for instance. And then slowly change and get the audience used to Chinese things. An example of this is there's a novel called Lord of Mysteries.
Yes.
Which is set in more like England old time, you know, but it's very, you know, Chinese themes, Chinese ideas. So I think doing stories like that, where you mix two things and then slowly go on, will have a bigger impact worldwide, because it's just hard for new audiences to get used to, like, they have to understand, like, it's not normal to have concubines.
I mean, you have to get, before watching anything Chinese, even the game, you have to know the lore behind that. Chinese people just know because they grew up here, but for outside, you just get, like, it's like getting into the middle of a ongoing story, but you're just starting it from the beginning, right?
Yeah, because we talk about, in English, we call them cultivation stories, the ones that are like martial arts. And the problem is, when you put them into the Western side, the stories are like, oh, you already know what a cultivation story is. They don't teach you, like, oh, this is, you know, they practice martial arts, they can live for a very long time. They don't teach you that, because in China, you already know all of that. You already know.
We grow in that.
Yeah, exactly. But in the West, we don't. So I think there needs to be some stories, and hopefully maybe authors like me, or more Chinese authors, that can, like, put in the middle. Like, you bring Chinese elements and then slowly, like, expand.
So because you mentioned the gap between different culture, so I have a question for you too. So because, like, when we mentioned the Empress Zhenhuan, or even the Black Myth Wukong, it has a lot of ancient Chinese thing, even a lot of ancient Chinese words. So how can you get the real meaning of it? I mean, I know, because even for me, or 100% Chinese, sometimes it's hard for me to understand the ancient Chinese.
Yeah. Because a lot of it is very linked with the Buddhists and the Taoist mythology and everything. And if you're familiar with that, I think you would kind of understand. But when I was playing by myself, I put my Chinese friend by my side.
They were assistant.
I had an assistant playing.
That reminds me of a meme. It's like when I was viewing about the game, the comments, I noticed a meme which is from I don't know what country the net friend is from. He posted a meme. It's like when the chosen one is killing in the game, and the player is like a monkey who is like checking, like doing the research.
Yeah, it's just the same feeling. So he explained to me, this is Huang Mao, you know, the yellow brow, and all his disciples are not Pu Bai and Pu Kong, and he's just explaining to me, okay, this is not white because the other kind of emperor has these that are whites, and Wukong himself is is the contrary of those disciples, because they hate each other, and you can't know that from the game.
Yeah.
And this is basically all that lore that you have to understand, and it makes for a good time for understanding everything.
Have you paid for your friend, the Chinese assistant?
No, he bought me the game. I have such nice friends.
All right, he's nice. So for you, how do you understand all these ancient Chinese things?
I don't think that's the idea going into it. So, like, example, the reason why Black Myth did so well is because it's a good game first.
Yeah.
And then it's about Wukong. You know, if it wasn't a AAA game, if it wasn't good quality, then people wouldn't be interested in about, oh, what's the story? So a lot of people who played Black Myth Wukong, why it sold so well was because it was a good game. And then while they're playing it, they're like, oh, I really enjoy this game. And then they do the research into, oh, let's find out about the characters, about the stories.
Sure.
And I think that's the same with the TV show. If the TV show is really good, then I will look into, like, oh, so this is, and in fact I did that with the the Palace show. Like, you know, I'm watching it, and then because that's based on real history, then I search the real history, like, oh, what happened? What actually happened? Did the brother actually die? Did they actually go to this? So I think the thing that you need to do first is just make a really good like product, and then
make a good impression.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, this is so good, I have to learn more about the culture and what it's about.
I think that's what we call soft power.
Yeah, soft
You know, some products lead you to get to know more about the cultural background.
Yes,
So-
exporting your culture, which Japan was really good at in the past.
Oh yes,
But
yes.
China has been catching up just in these last 5 years with
Yes.
all their
Yeah, I was gonna say, because like, you know,
Yeah.
the reason why I couldn't watch old Chinese shows is because the dubbing, the like when you see their mouth move and it's a different voice,
Yes.
and you can
Can't.
tell it's a different voice.
Yeah.
And for me, I just can't watch it if it's like their mouth is moving and it's a different voice.
In other words,
But
weird.
now it's it's weird.
It's
but
good
now
production.
it's better production,
Yeah.
better. You know, more money is being put into the
Yes.
shows. Yeah.
And that's incredible, you know. And so, you know, we talked about so many cultural products. So I can tell a common rule of it, because, like, you know, in Chinese we call 打怪升级. It's about the game thing, especially like when you are like fighting with the demons, fighting with the monster.
妖怪.
Yes, and then you level up. I think it's also like us. Like, we're born as a baby, and then we grow up with lesson, with pain. And then we grow up. It's just like ourselves. So do you think it's a reflection of our own, you know, own person?
Well, 100%. It has to be relatable to the person. Well, that's why we talked earlier about translating old stories into modern kind of like into this modern time. So whatever relates to the viewer, he will like it more and be more invested and interested. Yeah.
We call it. I think I like the idea that you said, like, baby growing up and then going through, and I think that's why these new stories, if you see, we call it wish fulfillment. But
yes.
like, so you see these news stories, it's like, oh, the person goes back into the past, right? And then they start again. What can they do?
Fix their mistakes.
Or they go into a different world. What do they do? So it's like starting from the beginning. And I think sometimes we wish, like, you know, we've gone through life, we're going through all these mistakes. We wish we could start again and do it correctly this time. And the only way you can kind of do that is through like novels or through games. It's like, okay, you're starting from zero. Let's do everything correctly or different, or you just wish, I wish I had the chance to do it again and
Yes.
go through this.
Yes. You know, when you were talking, I was thinking about the activity we met, which is about the online literature forum, because at that time I met a lot of, you know, online writers in China or abroad, and then I realized that in this city, in Hangzhou, we have like a lot of, you know, local writers or local story from the city and spreading everywhere. It's like it's like in this city, or let's say in the space, it's like a big room and continuously produce all these writers and all these stories. Yes. So we also know that story it's like our lives. It's like a reflection of our anxiety, right? But you know, sometimes it's not everything goes well. Sometimes we have bad endings. So, is there any impressive bad endings in the Chinese story you watched?
It depends what you mean by bad ending. Like, it depends if you mean bad ending like, oh, everyone dies, it's sad, or do you mean bad ending like, that's a horrible ending, like that
For
wasn't
example,
good for the...
like the character, he or she hasn't achieved the aim or the final wish.
So that's interesting, because like when I write my stories, I don't like a happy ending, because for me, if I grow up, so growing up in Western media, a lot of ours is from American. And Americans love happy endings. They love like everything happy, you know, everything works out in the end. The hero wins, no one dies, etc.
That's what's happening in Marvel stories.
Yeah, exactly. But a bit like what you said, like, you know, life is not like that. You know, a lot of people don't end up with their high school sweetheart. A lot of people don't stay in the same job. They change jobs. A lot of bad stuff happens to you. So in my stories, I do like kind of like not sad ending, but I like a middle. Like you think about it, like, oh, okay, he sacrificed himself for like, you know, for everyone else to be happy, or something like that. So that's what I like. In terms of Chinese stories, even it depends how you look at it. Even in the ending of the Empress one, it's like she got the goal, but was she happy? Is like a different
thing.
thing.
So because I watched the ending of it hasn't contained in Chinese version, but I watched it on YouTube. She died with memories. It's like in Chinese we call it 走马灯. It means when somebody died, the whole life memory occurred in one's head.
Flashbacks.
Yes, flashback. So everybody left her, like her servant, her real love, her friends, everything.
These
left.
were her flashbacks.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think it's a bad ending for her.
Yeah, but I think it's a good ending for the show. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's a really good ending. But yeah, I agree. And those are the type of endings that I like. But actually, I think in novels these days, a lot of them are more just generally happier. Like generally just like, okay, everything worked out. Let's go. Let's do the next story.
I see.
I think maybe it's because then a lot of it is to do with producing more products. Like, oh, let's make a second one if it does really well, or let's make a game. Let's make all this stuff. Yeah.
So, any impressive bad ending for you?
Well, I will recall a bad ending can be good for the show. Bad ending, it does not mean bad show. And I will quote the Breaking Bad. At the end, everybody dies and everybody hates each other, but it's a good ending of the show, and it didn't keep them from producing more shows. Better Call Saul for the prequel, and then the one that will come out for the lawyer Katrina. No, what's her name? The wife of Saul.
I can't remember. It's been a while.
Whatever,
and they still can produce. This will be produced in December this year, and it's a sequel for it. So bad ending doesn't mean a bad show. It can be good. So yeah, I quite like bad endings. Yeah.
But you know, I hold an opposite idea from you guys. I know if you understand me, because I hate bad endings. I mean, not the real hate, because you know, I think, in my opinion, like, my life is already a mess. Of course, I don't mean I live in poor or in a war. I am lucky. I am happy. I have to admit it. But, you know, I have a lot of pressures. Like, you know, now I'm having pressure. So I have pressure about my job, about my life, about my 2 cats, even about my next month's rent. So I think my life is already, you know, stressful.
So
I need something.
Something happy.
I need something cheer up.
I think there's 2 types of stories, though. I look at it like there's the ones that you can watch again and again and enjoy, and then there's ones that you remember, and for some reason the ones you remember are sadder than the ones that are happy. So I agree with you. Like if I've watched a sad show, sometimes then I'm feeling weird for like 3 or 4 days,
depression,
but then I need to search for a good happy show. You know, I need to search for something that will end happy. And usually, to be honest, I think most romance stories end quite happy. So usually if I watch a lot of like action fantasy, I'll go to romance, because I know at the end that the 2 people that I want to get together are going to get together, and then it's going to be happy and I can just enjoy that. But I agree with you. A lot of people read stories, play games to escape from, you know, the real pressure of real life. So why would you want to read about someone else struggling, you know, paying the bills?
I am struggling already, so please. Yes, so I think that's why those stories work. I mean, you know, small people growing up, baby growing up, and then a cultivation thing, you know, from a loser and then a master. I think that's why, you know, the Chinese online literature and the drama
works.
Yes. So, you know, I have a last question. What are we seeking when we are reading all these stories?
Seeking?
What are we looking for? So when we are diving into all these games, literatures or dramas, what are we looking for? A shelter or a reflection of our own?
For me personally, I always seek to expand my imagination and get new ideas of this show, and see how the director and the producers put their imagination into reality. and it kind of gives you perspective and it gets your mind going. I especially like when shows and movies or like literature works have an open ending, so you can just
open
think
ending.
as an open ending, so you can just think about what's going on. So it's less about escaping reality, it's and more about just exploring this kind of imaginary world and letting just your mind wander and away from the real world where everything is real and bound by physics and reality. And yeah, this is like the enjoyments I get from watching like literature or movies or everything.
Yeah, I think experience is kind of it. I wouldn't say an escape, but experience is really interesting because I could say, example, like I can't grow up and live in China. I've already gone to school in England, right? But I'm sure there's a lot of people in China would be like, oh, what would life be like in England? And there's a lot of people like me, I'd love to know what life is like as in China, going through the school system. I can't. So if you read stories, you can experience like, oh, how does that person go through this? How does that person go through that?
Get their kind of perspective.
And
then maybe you can connect with people more and relate to like the Chinese kids.
Yeah, like I don't know what like going through the Gaokao is like. Reading stories are like, okay, it's something stressful, it's something, but I don't know what it's like, you know. So
So you know, for me, like, because I agree with you, and for me, because I've been living in Hangzhou for like about 5 years, so I have a deep impression that because in the city we always like have some forums and activities about culture. So especially about international culture thing. So I think reading all these things is like an input and output. You know, we input all these like a comfort to ourselves, and then we output our own story. You know, it's a totally a nice space for us to share our idea. I think it's good. So I also wonder, is there any expectation that you want to see in Chinese, you know, cultural thing, especially like games or literature or dramas?
I hope, because they're on a good road right now, and I hope they just keep delivering this kind of things and open up more and make it more accessible to the simple viewers like me that are not familiar with the Chinese lore with 4,000 years of Chinese history.
Now I can see what you're expecting. The Black Miss Zhongkui.
Yeah, that's basically it.
I think you can put a lot of events on and bring the people to. I always tell people, like all my friends, I say to come to China to enjoy the real, like you know, style of things. I like, you know, I think like Ed Sheeran did a concert. It was in Hangzhou. In the Olympic
football
Center. And like, so I think put on more things for people to come to. Be great.
Okay, so we talk about that much about the Chinese new cultural trial, about the TV dramas, the game, and online literature. So if you got anything interesting, just let us know in the comment section. So that's it for today. Goodbye. See you next time.
Bye-bye.